Good evening, people of God. Listen, I want to tell you something right quick. I hope everyone had an amazing Tuesday or whatever. Mine was very, very busy. But listen, what, babe? What? Listen, I want to tell you something right quick. People of God, be very, very prayerful and private, and don't be quick to let people re-enter your life. In fact, when people have left your life, especially when they've left you in a pit, they've left you for dead, they've left you to be, they wanted you to be in embarrassment and shame. They set you up for a terrible fall. They smeared your name, and these people will try to come back into your life. They're not sorry. They're mad that you got away. They're not sorry. They're mad that you got away. You've forgiven folk and you move on, right? But there's some folk who actually plotted your demise. They watched you. They sat back and they watched you, and you didn't fall. You didn't fall how they thought you were going to fall. You didn't stay in that pit and die. You didn't die there, right? People did some very, very dangerous things. There are some folk who did some very, very dangerous, very, very treacherous things that could have ruined some of our careers, and it did tainted our name. It tainted our name, our image for quite some time. And you have some of those people, they'll send you a text message out of the blue, lying on God. God put you in their spirit and they want to know what's going on in your life. That's a bold devil. Now, you forgiven folk, you may not be angry with nobody, but see, when folk usually plot someone's demise and they know they wrong and they sorry, they go on about their business, they try to make peace with God, and then sometimes they'll come back to that individual and they'll try to make peace with you. But then when folk are angry because the tables may have turned on them, they're reaping what they sow, the level of embarrassment that they wanted you to inherit, they're now experiencing that. Folk can look at them and tell that they're a liar. Everybody kind of sees them for who they are. Sometimes people re-enter your life to try to finish what they left off, finish what they didn't finish. Sometimes people enter your life because they need to have some type of contact with you, people who don't mean you any well, right? They need to have some type of contact so they can figure out a way to rewrite a new narrative, so they can figure out a new plot and finish what they started, right? There are some people who are bold in their wickedness, bold in their error, and they will craft up or devise up a plan, and you don't know how they coming at you. But I'm going to tell you another thing. See, we grown now. This 2023, a lot of us folk, as we grow, we get older. When folk got something to say, a lot of times when it's really, really important, especially folk who ain't even in your life, but when somebody who has exited your life and exited in a very bad way, an awful way, and you're over them, you're over what they did, you forgive them, you done moved on, they ain't gonna come back in your life texting you, trying to find out what's going on. And when grown folk have something to say and it's important, and they call in your phone, they'll leave a message. They'll say what they have to say. Oftentimes when you see these folk trying to get in touch with you, and around that same time, you get all these different weird numbers calling you, hanging up, and not saying nothing, holding the phone and stuff like that. That's these folk. That's these folk. They trying to monitor you. When folk want to really take you out, when you got somebody in your heart that's your enemy, and you want to take out your enemy, you gotta watch them. You got to try to learn how they move. But see, if you done changed up how you move and you roll solo and you don't have nobody around you that's always can secretly carry your business off and stuff like that, then you above the game. You see what I'm saying? You done leveled up. You done stepped up, because see, now you ain't got nobody around you leaking all your information out. You ain't got nobody around you that's pretending to love you, but yet in their heart, they working against you. They communicating with everybody that don't like you. See, when you done get rid of folk like that, now you can grow, and God can elevate you. And He's already elevated you. Don't think it not strange when you see folk who have done you wrong done really serious things against you and made it known that they was walking out of your life, and then they try to re-enter. They not sorry. They mad because you got away. And some of them folk who they went off behind you and tried to taint your name to, some of them folk done see you for who you are. Some of them folk who done joined up and teamed up against you, they done repent to God. They sorry for what they did. They may never come and tell you. They may never come and tell you. They just go off in peace, because some of these folk is older in age. They know they shouldn't have done what they did. You know, folk just make their little peace with God, and they wish it well. They wash their hand clean. What Pilate said when they want him to crucify Jesus. He went to his wife. His wife warned him that was an innocent man. But he said, I find no fault. He just washed his hand and turned the other way. You know, you got some folk that's turning the other cheek. They know what you've been through. They know what happened. They know the rumors and the lies and the things that folks said on your name. They see. They see who was behind it all. You got folk that know. Some of them won't speak up, just like Pilate. He just washed his hand and let them go on. He turned them loose. He don't want to be guilty of killing an innocent man. So he released them to the people, still knowing the people wanted to kill him, but he just washed his hand and stepped back, you know. So understand that there are going to be folk who will try to re-enter your life, but they don't mean you any good. You see, when people mean you well and they love you, they'll celebrate you, just like how you celebrate people. And you'll feel it. You can feel when you're in the presence of folk who really, really love you, or who really, really have good energy, good intentions about themselves. You can feel that. And when folk want to re-enter your life for no good reasons, they're going to try to get you to talk to them. If anything, they can get you to say anything to them. Sometimes folk just need a response. And when people are texting you, you know, folk who got stuff to do, you know, who are serious, who are sincere, who are business oriented, who are productive, they ain't got time to be doing all that petty texting and stuff. Especially when you ain't talked to nobody in over a year, 2 years, 3 years. Who sent you? It ain't God. They lying on God. God ain't send folk back in your life. God ain't send folk back in your life. Pray. But the best thing you can do for folk like that, when they try to re-enter your life and you can kind of discern that they mean you know well, is ignore them. Ignore them. Give them your silence. They don't deserve a response from you. See? When somebody knows what they did and they sorry, you'll know it. You can tell when somebody's sorry, because the entire approach will be sincere. The way they will approach you will be sincere. But at the end of the day, you don't need, many of us, we don't need an apology. That's not going to, at this point in life, where God has taken us, you know, we walk in forgiveness. That's why we can sleep good at night. That's why we have joy, you know. An apology is not going to affirm us in any type of way, you know. It would be nice if people take accountability, but at this point, you know, there's not really an apology that would be needed, you know. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. Be very, very wise. And when God is doing new things in your life, it's okay to keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. You'd be surprised how much envy and jealousy rise up in folk just because they see something great that God is doing for you. And you cannot even, you cannot really even share a lot with people, but people can look at you and see. They can see that you're blessed. They can see that the hand of God is on your life. And you'll be able to feel the envy and jealousy that rises up in folk. So sometimes it's good to hide you know, hide yourself a little bit, hide your blessings a little bit, you know. Let God finish doing what he's doing in your life. Let everything that God wants to do in your life manifest. Don't be quick to let people re-enter your life. And going forward in life, be a loner sometimes. You be a loner until the people come into your life, or you run across people with a good spirit about themselves, with love in their heart. If ain't no love in their heart, what can they offer you? What can they offer you? The greatest gift, the Bible tells us, the greatest gift of all is love. Our Savior, our Father. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. Jesus willingly sacrificed himself to be the sacrificial lamb for our sake, so that we could have that protection, that covenant, that blood covenant is powerful in the earth today. That was love. And you got love in your heart. You know, those who are of God, not those who say they are of God, but those who are really of our Father. They have love in their heart. You can feel it. You know it. They're consistent. They're loyal. You know, not perfect, but genuine, sincere. You know, and be cautious about, you know, if you got folk around you, evaluate the people around you. Evaluate. Don't go on years and years and years ignoring red flags, letting somebody learn everything in and out about you, and then boom, just to have one day. It could be after 10, 15 years of friendship. All of them red flags you ignore could just blow right up in your face, and the person could take their greatest dagger and try to stab you in your heart. If you make it through that, it's only by the grace of God. And like I said, some folk, they'll try to re-enter your life, not because they sorry, but they mad because you got away. They want to finish twisting that dagger that they thought they left in your heart. But see, God pulled it out. He performed surgery. He allowed the angels to perform surgery on you. He healed you. He gave you a second chance. And so now you got to be wiser. You got to operate in that wisdom, you see. So evaluate people. Don't ignore red flags. You know, you'll know when you have folk around you and you need to get them out your life. You know, when you have wins, when you have things that are happening for you, I'm going to be the one that get real silent. They get silent. When you're going through hard times, or when something tug at your heart and make you a little sad, watch them. You might see them laughing. You might see them cracking a smile. If you're around a group of people, watch them. You might see them giving each other a weird eye. Pay attention to stuff like that. Move, slowly move from around people like that. Slowly move. Everybody not going to be able to handle the calling that God has on your life. And the enemy loves to cause abortions. He loves to cause miscarriages. I'm speaking spiritually now. So just be wise. Be very, very wise. When you done gone through so much, you will learn. When you done experience a lot of heartache and pain, that should teach you. You don't want to experience them things no more. Not from carelessness. You know, not saying we're not going to have things in the earth that hurt us, or, you know, that we see just as well as we get up, get happy, get joy. We'll find things that sometimes bring tears to our eyes. But it doesn't have to be by us being ignorant, ignorantly putting ourselves in situations or giving ourselves over to folk that we know will contribute to our demise. You know, you got to love yourself enough. When you know who you are and what you carry and you value yourself, you will not be so easily, give yourself to people or give, you know, bless people with your presence, because you are a blessing. You are a treasure, and you got to know that. You are a blessing. You are a treasure. And so anybody you go around and they don't appreciate you and they don't love on you and celebrate you just like how you would do for them, then you know you shouldn't be going around them, because they don't appreciate you. They don't respect what's on the inside of you. So you got to love yourself enough to know that. So anyway, that's just what I wanted to share. I'm about to get off of here. It's a night for me. I had a long day. Y'all have a blessed night. And I love you. Remember now, if folk try to re-enter your life, you examine that thing. You done forgave them. You done move on. You ain't did nothing wrong to nobody. You know. But be careful, because some people, they're not sorry. They're mad because you got away. So remember that and move wisely. Move wisely. Have a blessed night.